For today's video, I'm taking a look at this very special Red DDR we got, and this one I did not put to the market, largely because of this beautiful, absolutely gorgeous, ugly piece of shit monitor on the front of it. So I got this cab from, I'm not sure what arcade, but they offered it to us. It was at a reduced price because of the monitor, which is cool. I've always wanted a Red cab. I've never been able to own one. So this one's going to go into the arcade. We're very excited to have this. I just wanted to start out this video by kind of just looking at how everything was packed. And I'll do a more in-depth look at like this crazy stuff where they just screwed this piece of plywood in there and used it as a monitor mount. Whatnot, and also, you know, they put like this back door up here. I don't know if I have pictures from the back of the container, but they had to do this because it was right next to two groove coasters and it barely fit this way. So yeah, I just wanted to point this out. You know, we've got here the power supply for this monitor. You know, they ran all the cables exterior instead of through here. Just a bunch of like really kind of jank, but yeah. So anyway, that's that. I'll be back once we've got this back in the arcade. Probably, honestly, at this point, probably going to be at least a month from now, and we'll look over the cab, and I'll kind of document a little bit the process of returning this to the state that I wanted it in. So we'll be right back. Hey everybody, back for another video here, and today we're opening up and checking out this DDR over here that we just got in. It's a Red DDR. They've been very hard to get, among the hardest, right behind the white cabs. As you can see, it is a little bit disgusting with this stupid looking monitor here on the front, but hey, it's a Red cab, we can get it. I'll come back and retrofit a CRT back into it, but yeah, we're gonna get it unwrapped, look it over a little bit, check out the pads a bit, take a break, set it all up, and see how this looks. I'm kind of curious how the game will look and play on something like this. So go ahead and get it unwrapped. And we can take a closer look at how they did this monitor. So I think I've mentioned, I don't know if I've mentioned it on any of the social media, but I've talked to people about it before. They just took this this monitor mount here and screwed it onto a wood board, and then screwed that directly into the pieces of wood that the glass would originally mount onto. So we don't have a glass. I'm going to have to replace that, but you know, those are very replaceable. I've already looked inside, and like you can see, these were unscrewed to rotate the monitor bracket, I think, so that something in there would sit correctly. So I don't know. I might find something to replace this red seal that they broke off, but yeah, so I want to fire it up and see how it looks as it is, and then eventually, probably not for this video, we're going to put a CRT back in, or we might do, there's an LCD mod that you can put in a Dell U3014, and it actually fills out like a perfect 29-inch CRT if you run it in 4.3 mode. So those are kind of the two options. I haven't decided what I'll do yet. I'll post pictures to follow up, but I probably won't have that stuff on this video. Mainly I'm going to get this playable so I can play it, and I'll come back and finish that project at a later date. So chuck these to the side, and we can take a closer look at the cab itself. We've got here, or am I knocking something over? So this monitor is adjustable, but just we'll leave it like that. We've got here, so the glass for the holder for the glass is pulled out so that this piece of wood can fit in there. All the, you know, this thing is chewed out, but like look at how gross the keypad covers are for that. So I have some replacements. I don't know what cabs I'm going to put them on yet. I might just have these go without or something. It's missing the flaps, but I've got another cab that has flaps. I'll probably switch them onto this cab. One other thing we noticed, I'm just gonna kick all this out of the way because it's gonna get in the way. was they probably had a card reader of some sort on there, because this was removed. It might be in the cab, it might be in the coin bucket. I haven't really looked yet. I don't remember if... Oh yeah, here's the keys. So yeah, we haven't actually opened the back or the front yet, but we can take a look in the coin bucket and see if any of that got out. I'm also curious what keys... Yep, it uses an N5000. It's a standard. Okay, so inside it looks like... I'm not sure... Oh, this thing's kind of beat up. I might replace this. Well, no, if it's just that. Is that the lamp holder? Maybe? I don't know. Oh, this is... Yeah, this is the push button, so... I'll probably just replace the front part, and that's good. This looks like it's taped in, though. The top, there's no screws. Oh, that's why, because... Because the... Oh, it is. Yeah, it is in here. Okay, well, yeah, I don't know why this is off. We can put it back in. Yeah, the screws are there, too. Yeah. Okay, well, let's open up the bottom. We'll take a look at the coin counter. I'm curious how much this got used. 101,904, which it seems moderately high. And we just got hardware in there, nothing special. But, yeah, at least that's there, and we can replace that. I wonder, you don't know... I know why now, I think. If you close this and lock it, I've seen this on other cabs too. If you look at this, like this sticks out to about here, as opposed to this, you know, here. Like I would assume that they would have taken this off too. They probably took this off to wedge it in, because I remember, I think at the back of the container when we pulled these out, this was wedged in tight. This and two other cabs, we could barely get it out. So, more than likely that was something that it literally, I mean, actually, I need to pull it out and you can see the, you know, how deep the profile is on it. I bet you they took it off because that was the only way to get it to fit. So, yeah, this would come out to, like, there. Just even that little bit extra was too much. So that makes sense. That's a relief that it's there, though. I'm going to hang this up where I usually do. Over here. And let's flip this cab around and look at the back. So I haven't dug into the back yet to see if there's any goodies in the bottom of the cab. Sometimes there are. Oh, we should look at the side first. You had mentioned here that it looked like they had used this for streaming, which is pretty cool. So is this VGA? It looks like VGA in there. Oh no, it's not. HDMI.
It's There's HDMI cable right there. So
yeah, it is a this is a VGA cable.
Interesting.
So there's that running. Let's get this tape off and take a look then. Here's the so this is I don't know exactly what it's from, but this is an arcade panel of some kind, because there's this power supply that, you know, it obviously came out of a machine and they just bolted it onto the. And actually, you had mentioned, oh no, they drilled a hole. They didn't. That's actually, now that I look at it, there's a cover that normally goes on that, and that would have been the part that screws it down. So they did not drill a hole in it.
Lucky.
That's good. And that's the only one that's screwed in. And we've got this HDMI. It looks like it... Oh, so yeah, no, it's a VGA to HDMI, I guess. Because it doesn't look like DVI. It might... I don't know. That should be... I think it's... You know what? I can flip out. I think it's DVI. Yeah. It's DVI.
Yeah.
That makes more sense, because there's an HDMI splitter inside. So whatever they're doing, and we'll trace this to the inside later, and we'll take a look at it. But this is the HDMI that would hook up to that splitter. We've got, this is the power for the monitor. The remote board is just plugged in here, and it looks like they've got a connector here that's probably inside the cab as well. So let's flip it the rest of the way around. Let's get the back and the light. Okay. So we've got dongles here. I don't think I pulled anything out, but it's not going to stay, is it? Oh, whatever. Got the umbilical, as usual, with the front part. Well, yeah, it's kind of broken. Oh, it's just not. It's actually not that broken.
Duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape. I mean, that's what all of them do. But like, I would be surprised to ever see any of these hoses that aren't. I think I ordered replacements for someone. They're pretty expensive, but someone wanted brand new ones. We've gotten them before. So, looking at these connectors, these are actually a little bit different than first gen pads, and I'm not really going to illustrate the difference because I don't have those on hand. But you've got two separate connectors for the pads. And then instead of, like, there was a 6-pin for power before, and now we've got a 4-pin and a ground. So those are a little bit different, and something to note if you ever wanted to say, like, hey, I'm going to use my first-gen pads on a Red DDR, you're not going to be able to. Another interesting thing, you know, while I'm just looking at things and remember it in the back, there's the Dragon PCB. I've seen it two ways, and I'm not sure what the difference is yet, if it was just that these, but specifically this one, so it has this nice little tray in it. You just press the button and the hard drive pops out. Other Python 3, I guess P3I or whatever, have, you need like a little hard drive key to unlock, but the other Dragon PCB that I have has a screw-in tray instead. And I until recently, I'd only ever seen the ones like this with a nice little pop out that are pretty cool. These are really convenient for doing this. The tray, I would almost switch this out for a tray because that's easy to take like a 2.5 hard drive, put it inside, and it'll have a cable on the inside, and then that way you can just open it, pull it out, swap a hard drive or something like that. At the end of the day, anything that I'm going to be running on this, I'm probably going to put it on one big multi-drive anyway, and it won't matter, but it's a preference for when my show cab. I'll play other stuff when I'm at home if I'm using the cab, and then I'll switch it to a convention drive when we go out. So anyway, just since I had that in mind, I'd point that out. I don't think I've ever opened or done a video on a Red cab before. It was all like first gen cabs. I don't think I've done any of the HD models either, but yeah, I figured if I'm going to do a Red cab, this is an interesting one to do it on. Now I also, for my cab, the one that I've been upgrading from like base up, I also gutted, I think there's one of these, except it's a serial port for the card readers, because for first gen cabs, there wasn't originally a hole up here for the card reader cables to run. I forgot how they do it here. Is it just go straight down, right? Yeah, so there's a hole already there, like it's stock. It has this little rubber around it, and the cables just go straight down. I was probably going to drill a hole in my first gen cab and do the same thing, because I don't want to run those power bricks in the back. The other thing is those power are, there's not going to be like a brick inside. It's actually run through the cab power, whereas the first gen the first gen cabs would have had a like a power adapter. You'd have to run that in the back, power them separately, and then the serial would plug in the back. So for these, they have the Ethernet instead. So you can feed it Ethernet directly through there. Okay, I'm gonna stick my hand under here. I know I've done it on other ones. I'm gonna see if we have anything extra. There is a cable here, which I believe is the neons, but let's see if we can get a little farther back. And sometimes, even if a distributor cleans a cab before sending it out, they don't necessarily reach down there, and there might be goodies. Nothing in that one. Some distributors take all that stuff out, some don't. So it looks like we've got here manuals for conversion kit, X3 versus second, and another software kit for MDX. So there's our manuals. I'll add that to my stack. I don't remember what I have already, so. Here we've got a VGA splitter. Oh, I've never seen one of these for VGA. I've seen the DVI ones, but like, do you know how these work? Are they, because they're obviously not active. Is it just outputting the same thing to both? Or?
I assume so, unless it's one of those like Dell ones. No, it's just a normal splitter.
Yeah, it's just a normal splitter. Yeah, so it's Dell. It's specifically the Dell PCs that have these, right? The
special connector.
Yeah. I remember the data security place I worked at had a lot of those come through, and I had never seen them before that. So here's the ground and power for
back
the
panel.
back door. Yeah. Let's see what else we have in here. There's a big. Is that stock? Dude, it has to be. I'm pretty sure it is.
I believe so.
Yeah, because it might just have been a really long time since I've been in a red cab. I like these. But I haven't really been in a red cab in a long time. So yeah, I guess that's, there's probably nothing going to be tucked behind that. I'm not even going to try. So, looks like no goodies for this time around. But that's fine. So yeah, let's come up here and take a look at this. We've got this HDMI splitter. And I would assume that this would make it easy to stream off of this, which I would like to do. Even if I'm not running DDR, if I go to StepMania or ITG, I'll want to do that. So we've got that. It looks like this should be powered, right? There's a USB right there, but I don't see a connector in here. I think this would be for the old. Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, mine had that too.
This is probably what's powering the monitor if it reaches. Ew. Yeah, that should power it, but that barely reaches. But that doesn't reach.
There's no way they had to have the back door on, right?
Yeah, well, not necessarily.
They might have had a separate cable.
Interesting. This is. It's like a. For like a floor mat or something that you would have some rubber on it for
Protection.
That's for.
I don't know.
But so yeah, interesting. We had noticed also this is the USB PCB that would have been used DDRX, I think X2. Do you know X2, X3 up to 2014? Which ones used edits?
I don't know. I know X2 did.
Yeah. So there's this, and I think this. I don't know what it does besides. Because like they're just USB ports. I figure that there's something in there that probably prevents you from using like a keyboard or
maybe
stuff like that. So there's a device between it and that. And so up here, I don't know if you can see. Actually, I can here. This mount up here. I mean, it's different than the memory card reader slots for 573. Like this is because the front panel's different, but they have the same idea where there's a mount up there that this goes on. You can see like all the connectors. Everything's disconnected, and I don't know why. But at some point, probably after this video, I'll get this hooked back up, and I do have XX2 and X3, and I want to go back and start building some memory cards with edits, something to make playing those older mixes more fun. But I think that covers the overview of the cabinet itself. The pads, I think, let me push this back. I'm gonna get one of these pads off, and get the pad off the other. We'll just take a quick look at them. I'm going to put everything together and then kind of take a break, come back, and we'll fire it up and see how everything looks. So, not all pads that they send out do they like bubble wrap like this. They might wrap them or just pad them off or something like that. But this one is all bubble wrapped, all nice and everything. From my basic feel, these pads didn't feel as flush as some of the others I've gotten in the past. That felt like they had already been modded and had been getting a lot of play. And I honestly think that if someone were playing on this regularly, they maybe wouldn't have done this garish ass monitor. But that's fine. I'm probably long term intending to put a bracketless mod onto this. I have one already, and it's going on to one of my show cabs. If I like it, then I will do the same thing for the home cab. So push this a little closer, and then pull the top one off. And I might just, I might actually look into these pads a little bit better later. But one thing that I wanted to point out, because I've been noticing this on a couple pads and thinking about it. They have to have come back and had some standard. I don't know if Konami did it or if someone got together and just like all cabs ended up having this done. But they started using these small screws. And I think it was around DDRX that you started seeing them, because these are used, actually, you know what I think it is? These are used on the DDRX cabs. So all the, at least I think they are. I would assume that anyway. That's probably why people started getting them and putting, retroactively putting them on the older cabs. But we were thrown off because like they went out of the way to put them on the brackets, but then they didn't do any of this in between. And granted, this is better, but it's just. And what I'll do is I'll take those off. I'll swap some in. I might go buy a whole.
See the
outer brackets.
Because
I've gotten for my pads, I'm using the bigger, like slightly higher hex bits, and they're fine. They're great for extreme. They still give you that feel of playing on a bracket without being like really in your way. But again, since I'm planning on possibly bracketless modding this whole thing, like all of this is just going to get changed out anyway. And for the insides, what I might do is just switch all these big screws to these small ones, and then we're done. But, yeah, actually, I think we'll break there. We'll get everything set up and then come back and give the cab a test. I'm also going to change out of these stupid things and definitely not playing in them. So, yeah, we'll be right back. So real quickly, before I get the header on and do a test of this monitor and whatnot, I just wanted to point out one of the differences between this cab and the older SD cabs, which is right up here. If you've ever had to run the cables through on a DDR header, you don't have this fancy little bracket there that has all those connectors. You have to, fish down inside the cab to get it up. So anyway, I wanted to point that out because it's pretty cool. I don't know that I'll get to opening up the header itself. It's nothing really special. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to point that out before I, put it together and hide it. So we'll be right back. I did get it up and running, and we're trying to look up some interesting information on this monitor as well before we finish out the video. So we'll be right back. Alright, we're back. We got the header on and everything, and we've got this monitor set up, and now that we're here, I tried to do some research on it and try and figure out what we could see about it, but we didn't find anything. So, but what we are suspecting is that this is a 42-inch, and as you can see, the game is not filling the resolution. So the first thing that made me think is, let's look at the monitor and see where it came from. And I'm thinking that this is a 2DX Pendulum monitor, because that model they had, where they were 42-inch monitors in there, but a 37-inch frame. So I think what they did, and it's cropped out. So this is already cropped out. I feel like they took it off of a 2DX, because if you think about it, recently they've been breaking down, throwing away a lot of 2DXs, repurposing parts. Maybe that's what happened, and that this is a 2DX monitor. Now it's a Toshiba do you remember what it was? Like U50?
DL42055?
Yeah, so it's something like that. We looked it up. It did come up in reference to 2DX, but we haven't found anywhere that actually talks about it. So anyway, I'm gonna fire it up, give it a play test, and see how it feels at least, and then leave it at that. And if it is one of those monitors, it probably feels pretty good. Do you have any suggestions? Do you have any ideas? Throw it my way.
No.
No
Have
idea.
fun.
Let's just go. You know what? Let's throw something super classic then. Let's go DDR Max. No, there's not much in here. Something old and even just a bit. Why not? Just a good little basic song that everyone's familiar with, and we'll see how the timing ends up coming out. So also, the pads are not super modern or anything. They seem to work just fine, but they're definitely sunken. I mean, it's consistent. That's all you really need. Maybe that wasn't not great of a play. I'll try one more sound. That doesn't look great, but like, I don't know, it feels like normal, like any other DDR that I might play. Also, to note that it does boot it. We can run it in HD and it seems to be fine, so here, this is actually good.
It's a good one.
Check it out. If I can't time this, something's wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think most of that is honestly, you know, the pads are not flush, they're not perfect, and
The view height's really high
not
for me.
all of that's me, but definitely like that miss, I stepped in. Whatever.
And the pad's not leveled anyway either.
Yeah, they're not level, they're still a little bit loose.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't get all the bolts down, we just wanted to test it, but yeah, I mean, what can you say about that other than bet you get these down, get these pads modded. That monitor's probably fine.
Yeah, I don't mind
And
it.
also, to be fair, I'm horribly out of shape.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't played in fucking forever, but that monitor's actually not that bad. Now, I do have the pads set quite a bit farther back from the machine than I normally would. And just since the height's perfect for me, the one complaint that I have about gold cabs is that they're so big, so close, and so low.
Mm-hmm.
This, with the pads farther back, this a little bit higher up, it's actually a perfect height for it.
Mm.
So regardless of how jank it is, someone probably actually thought about it.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, the video cut out for some reason. Anyway, we're right at the end, but didn't want to leave it on that. But yeah, anyway, like, I think it's fine. He seems to think it's a little bit too high, but I really like it. Now, granted, again, I'm not going to leave it the way it is. I'm still going to put in either a CRT or do the Dell 3014 monitor for it, I think, but I don't know, like, all in all, I'm actually pretty happy with this. Like, I don't know if you can probably hear the noise. That's the fan on the power supply for the monitor. So I'll clean that up. And then again, I'm going to leave this like this probably for a couple months. I'm not going to get around to it. If you look around the garage, this is actually, I think, the first time I've shown how the garage is. If you want to walk through, do a little quick look of what we've got on this end. But we've got so much other stuff to work on that I'm not going to get around to it. But like, yeah, here's kind of a quick little teaser of where the game center's going. Probably can't see too much of it without the lights all working, but you know, I got stuff set up, and yeah, so we'll leave the DDR the way it is for now. I'll start playing on it. You know, we're starting to come into spring. The weather's starting to get nice, and yeah, Yeah, so anyway, I don't think, again, I'm pretty sure I didn't do a red cab before, so I thought I'd do this red cab. Wanted to share it with you, wanted to share the monitor, the little interesting things that they did with it, since it isn't just like your normal cab. And that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed checking this out. I know I'm going to enjoy having a new cab in the garage for once and start getting into the game. But yeah, so I'm not sure what our next video it is. It's probably going to be another container. Look forward to seeing you in it. Until then, stay safe and see you next time.